Wisdomism is not a religion because it is not based on any system of beliefs and practices that all the religions are dependent on. The early teaching of the Buddha was an independent scientific vision, but was not a religion, based on rituals and practices and blind beliefs like other religions. Therefore, what I call Wisdomism is closer to the earliest vision of the Buddha, where he encouraged his followers to look at things scientifically. Having a scientific attitude is the basis of the Buddha's earliest vision. Scientifically, we come to a conclusion after thorough observation, thorough investigation, that is done without prejudices. This is what even the Buddha uttered in the last stanza of Karnimeta Sutta. Dittincha anupagamma silava dasanena sampanno. Dasana is a vision. Ditti means prejudices, knowledge. That vision is said to be independent of knowledge. Knowledge is what we acquire through our sense organs from the world outside. But what I call wisdom is a capacity that gets opened up within. It is a vision, that capacity. In the Buddha's first sermon called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, he referred to the opening of this vision, the scientific vision, saying, Ubbesu annuttusesu dhammesu dhammacakkung, cakkung udapadi. Here chakku literally means the eye, but metaphorically it means a vision, which means at the enlightenment he realized something that he has never heard of before. Pubbesu annustutesu dhammesu. Through scientific investigation, observation, without following traditions. In fact, Buddha on a number of occasions asked his disciples not to be bound by blind belief on the tradition. He expressed this idea in the Kalama Sutta. Kalama Sutta is the discourse that we get in the first volume of Anguttara Nikaya, page 336. The same ideas are expressed in the Bhadya Sutta. The discourse comes in the second volume of Anguttara Nikaya on page 370. Buddha expressed the same idea in a nutshell at the Vimansaka Sutta, Digha Nikaya, Volume 3, page 166. There he advised his disciples not to believe blindly that the Buddha was an enlightened one, without proper investigation into his capacity. Just to find out scientifically through observation, investigations, and come to the conclusion whether he was enlightened or not. In this way, the earliest vision of the Buddha could be called in English Wisdomism instead of saying Buddhism. The modern word Buddhism, although it's pronounced as Buddhism, its original nature is Buddhism. For convenience of the English speakers, it is pronounced as Buddhism. There is an English version of Buddhism. The Pali and the Sanskrit word buddhi means wisdom. And ism is a vision. Therefore, Buddhism, if we name the both parts in English without mixing Sanskrit and Pali word buddhi with an English suffix ism, we can call it wisdomism. Make it purely an English word. Means wisdomism. Wisdom is buddhi and ism is a vision. In fact, wisdomism, as I mentioned earlier, was the earliest vision of the Buddha, where there were no rituals and practices other than the scientific observation and investigation that can end up in correct conclusions. That investigation is not into the outside world, as the modern scientists do, but an investigation into oneself. Because the wisdom or the buddhi or the wisdom is an inner capacity. Wisdom is inside us. It is different from knowledge. Knowledge comes from the outside world through our sense organs. The buddhi or the wisdom gets opened up. In fact, in Buddha's own word, he referred to the inner buddhi, panna. Panna is the vision of the inner wisdom. That he referred to as Dhammachakku. That is metaphorically. And it means, really the Buddha used the word Dhamma to denote what the mind becomes aware of. For example, even our thoughts and feelings can be called Dhamma. It is wise if you can investigate into our own thoughts and feelings and find out the ultimate reality beyond those thoughts and feelings, which are only mental images that looks real but not actually real. Whatever the mind becomes aware of can be called images, pictures, not realities but look real. The eye the Buddha referred to as the eye of wisdom, panna chakku, the eye eros, dhammachakkung uddapadi, in his first sermon, it is the opening of the insight of wisdom. Therefore, we can call the insight of wisdom and name it Wisdomism, a vision of the insight of wisdom. That wisdom Buddha called panna because wisdom can be both mundane and supramundane. Mundane means laukika, worldly. And it also has an aspect beyond the world. The world means the material world. The material world that we become aware through our mind. But the vision of Buddha, the insight of Buddha went beyond knowledge, went beyond thoughts. That is why in his first paean of joy after enlightenment, he said, at his enlightenment, what happened? The disappearance of all the entire thinking process. Dittincha anupagamma silava dastanena sampanno. As mentioned earlier. And he referred to it in his first sermon as chakkung uddapadi, vision eros. It is an independent vision of one's own, not based on blind belief of somebody else, but a conclusion that one can come through observation and investigation into one's own thought process, as well as one's own process of feelings. The actual reality, according to Buddha, is beyond thoughts and feelings. That is why, as I mentioned earlier, he said in the last stanza of Karnimitta Sutta, Dittincha anupagamma silava dastanena sampanno. Vision of insight, beyond prejudices, beyond thoughts and feelings. It is an insight, and it can be called the insight of wisdom, not the insight of knowledge. Knowledge is acquired through our sense organs, but wisdom is inborn in us. It is not coming from outside. Therefore, we can refer to the insight of wisdom as Wisdomism. And the earliest Buddhism too can be called Wisdomism, insight of wisdom, insight of the Buddha's wisdom. His original name was Siddhartha Gautama. He was called Buddha after enlightenment. After the opening of the inner eye, the insight of wisdom in him. That word, buddhi, Sanskrit and Pali word, refers to the inner capacity called wisdom. And it is the understanding of the truth. The Pali word bodheti is understanding the reality, realization of the reality. The capacity for such realization can be called buddhi. Although Buddha named it as panna, saying panna uddapadi in its enlightenment. And one who has got enlightened is called Buddha in Pali, Buddha. The word, the past particle of buddhi or bodheti is called Buddha. It's a past particle of the word bodheti, realization. Buddha realized. Realized means one who has. Therefore, Buddha was an animate noun saying one who has realized. Therefore, Buddha's insight of wisdom can be called Wisdomism. It is not a religion, because all religions are based on blind belief, based on practices, based on rituals, based on traditions. But here there is something new. Ubbesa anusitesu dhammesu. That one can realize by oneself, by investigating into one's own inner world. That means one's own mind. And ultimately, one can go beyond the mind, full of ideas and feelings. The real vision of wisdom is beyond thoughts and feelings. Knowledge is the product of thoughts and feelings, and thoughts and feelings are the products of the knowledge. They are interrelated. But wisdom is independent of thoughts, feelings, and also independent of the material experiences. It is an inner insight. That is why the ultimate truth, called nirvana in Sanskrit, nibbana in Pali, is said to be atakkavachara in the discourse called Ajata Sutta. Atakkavachara means it is beyond thoughts, unthinkable, cannot be thought of. can be thought, it means atakachara, means it is not a mental image, it is the ultimate reality. Wisdomism can be called the insight into the ultimate truth or the ultimate reality, which with the name in its language as Nibbana, and it is called Nirvana in Sanskrit. It is the ultimate reality or truth within all of us that we would be able to realize one day through enlightenment.